What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all?
What is up? What's going on? What's going on? So you have those sports chicks. We're back and live. The lion is here. Sidel Nicole and
Carlita Nicole, the quirky queen herself, Chi-Town, born and bred, Texas fed. What's up, y'all? Yes, yes, yes. We are back on another Wednesday night with so much to talk about. And unlike how we usually start off the show with football, we're going to dive in with some NBA stuff. Okay. First of all, um happy International Women's Day. We're gonna go ahead though and dive in. We'll talk about some women in sports a little later on in the show. But y'all, my Dallas Mavericks are playing the New Orleans Pelicans right now.
yeah.
Okay, like currently we are 3-5 with Kyrie playing, right? So we're still trying to figure it out. And Luka's playing with a soft tissue injury in his thigh. And that's a little scary, but Luka's tough. Y'all know Luka's tough and Luka's gonna play. So here's the deal. We have the standings and stuff. Cause I one of the things that I do want to know from y'all, for one, especially my Dallas Mavericks fellow fans, do we have a possibility this season of making it to the finals? At least the Western Conference Finals. So what does that look like right now? Sadell, currently we are in fifth place. We was just in sixth place a couple of nights ago. We are in fifth place right now with a total of 34 wins. However, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth place all have 34 wins. That's the Warriors, the Timberwolves, and the Clippers. And then right after the Clippers are the daggone Lakers with 32 wins. This is the thing. The Lakers are at currently number 9 and the Pelicans are at 10. Y'all know the play-in tournament is 7 through 10. So currently right now, we'll have to worry about the play-in tournament, which is great because I would love that additional rest, right? Before we have to go into the playoffs, the real playoffs. So with everything that we have right now, we only have to worry about the Nuggets, the Kings, the Grizzlies, the Suns. But do we really have to worry about the Grizzlies? Maybe, maybe not. The Nuggets and the Kings and the Suns, yes. But the Suns, like, y'all, the Suns now like have like a triple threat. That should we be concerned? If they all stay healthy, I think everybody should be concerned with
Right.
Kate and Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Like that's just a nasty, nasty starting lineup there. But out of the teams that I've mentioned that we have to worry about and deal with going into the play-in tournament, the playoffs, who are you most concerned about?
I mean, I guess like you said, it's gonna depend on what happens with Ja and all that stuff. But the Nuggets, I mean, the Nuggets are, looking like the top contenders right now.
Yeah.
Um, it'll be and I think for them, like they'll definitely make a strong run into the playoffs. I mean, the Joker is always doing what he does.
No.
I really wonder how long Ja is going to be out, and I think that depends on again
So
what ends
many.
up happening, and what charges are brought. It's just so much stuff, but in normal circumstances, that's 1 and 2, and they've been playing like 1 and 2.
So the Nuggets and the Grizzlies, those are the two teams that you're.
Now, and I mean, I guess my thing, to be honest, with Kyrie has had a lot of off the court things that have kind of been a distraction
Yeah.
lately. But I mean, every team that he's been on, he's made better. And I feel like at some point he and Luka will figure it out because in general, Kyrie, I mean, he played with LeBron, right?
Yeah.
He
Yep.
did well with them. And I feel like he's a point guard first. Like he's really a point guard who is fine with distributing the ball, who also has the ability to score. So I don't really feel like he'll have a problem doing that. Like The Celtics he made better. The Nets he made better.
Yes.
And Cleveland he made better. I mean, he brings a lot to the table. So I feel
Okay.
like that does give us, because last time we talked about this, we were seventh, right?
Yes.
And we were
We
talking
were.
about, hey, but I was like, the number of games in between 5 and 7 was just, which again is still pretty tight. So I
Yes.
do feel like, we'll have the option to be able um to move up and move on, and having
Mhm.
him makes it a different, and he's been in situations that allow him to bring a little bit of veteran leadership. So
Right. Right.
I mean, I think it's good. I think, but there's some contenders that we're gonna have to go through. Not insurmountable, but I feel like, get everything on track will be good.
So Ant was saying that the West belongs to Phoenix. And I definitely, Phoenix is a huge concern for me. For one, partly because Chris Paul still does not have a ring. And we saw in the last couple of seasons what that's looked like for Phoenix, where they're like right there.
Right.
Then, and we've seen, Devin Booker just get better and better. And then on top of that, you have KD with KD joins teams to get rings. So
I know, but KD's been so injury prone lately. And I think that's probably my biggest concern with that. And I do feel like there's something, I mean, we do have to be on the lookout for them. I definitely feel that. I just don't, we're going to have to see how that goes. Wow. Girl,
dear.
that, that's crazy. That's
Right.
crazy to me. He got hurt in warm-ups. How?
Oh,
Jason
don't
Kidd
do
is,
Jason Kidd.
I don't know, man.
Are you doubting Jason Kidd too?
I'm not necessarily doubting him. I don't know. He just hasn't worked it all out yet. I don't think he's trash. I don't know that he's the one that is gonna fix what we need.
Hold on, John. John. Okay. So John said I like the Nuggets in the West and don't sleep on the Lakers. LeBron is just resting.
I mean,
Okay.
LeBron better
Okay.
stop resting because they following further and further behind.
Well, okay. So kind of, because like I said, they are at 9. So currently they're still within that play-in tournament bracket, right? But AD has been carrying the team on his shoulders. Matter of
He
fact,
did have
the
a
game
good
that they
game.
played against Memphis, even though Ja wasn't playing, he got a nasty, ugly hit to the
He
nose.
did.
I don't know if it's broken, whatever, but it looked like it was cut and bruised and bleeding. He continued to play. He was like, all right, wrap me up, do what you got to do. I'm going back in the game, coach. Put me back in. He ended the game with 30 points and 22 daggone rebounds. He
But he
is,
should have been doing that the whole time. Like he should have been doing that the whole time. He
I
hasn't.
agree.
He
You're
hasn't
right.
given that. But
You're
anyway,
right.
keep going.
But to what John was saying, he's like, LeBron's just resting. Yeah, okay, that's cute. But what happens if, like, because AD is one of those injury prone players, right? So if the Lakers don't stay healthy, in let's say they don't rush LeBron back, there's still what 15 some odd games left before the playoffs start. I'm not counting the Lakers are out because I do think the Lakers are somehow, some way gonna end up in the daggone play-in tournament, and that sucks for the playoffs because who wants to see the Lakers in the playoffs? Not me and nobody else. Like we're
A
all
lot of people do.
we're over it. I've been over the Lakers in the playoffs since pre their bubble championship with the asterisk next to it. So no, we ain't trying to see that. But I'm not counting them out. I'm not, because I still do think that the Lakers have a really good chance of getting into the play-in tournament, and then somehow, in true Laker fashion, end up in the playoffs.
The
But
thing for me is LeBron is resting right now but you put yourself in a position to only be able to be in the play in, and then you're not going to be able to rest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Not
and
for
and
real
then
rest.
right, and even with AD coming back, I mean, normal AD would have been like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly was surprised that he kept playing. And so
Yeah.
maybe that's turned the corner for him. And maybe he's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna take over and we're gonna do this, which would be great. But come on, John. Come on now.
What?
Now,
John? Defense
I
just
mean,
against the last
you
Mavericks
know,
will be
give
out
us a round or two. Give
in
us a
round
round or
one.
two.
No, right, Sadell. Thank you. First of all, this is the thing. Maxi Kleber, he plays defense. He's hurt. We've seen Christian Wood play defense. We've seen defense come from Kyrie and Luca at times.
At
Do we
time.
have consistent defense throughout an entire game, all the time, every game? No,
I
not
honestly feel
necessarily.
like a lot of teams are like that though. We just
Right.
happen to be pretty bad. But
Are
um
we though?
at
Are we
defense,
though?
I would say. But
So
because my thing is that defense used to be a prideful thing in the NBA, and now it's not as much. Everybody wants to score versus play
yeah, I
defense.
agree with that. But I don't think we are terrible. I think that it is across the league that defense is just not what it used to be across the league. But I think offensively, like we still have the top scoring duo in the league. Now, do we have to worry about KD and Devin Booker? Yeah, we do. But Kyrie
Maybe.
and Luca are still Kyrie and Luca. Luca's still good for giving us double doubles and at times triple doubles. Like I'm not sleeping on my Mavericks either. Just like y'all said, don't sleep on the daggone Lakers. So
But see, you know, I do agree. Devin Booker and KD and CP, like that is deadly if it's fully healthy. Like I do agree with that. But
I do agree. Yeah.
I just don't. KD's just unfortunately very injury prone, and I don't know. And I mean, even though like Luca gonna play if his bone's sticking out his ankle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's gonna push
Yes.
himself to play,
He
and I
is.
just feel like that kind of gives us a little bit more. But
So okay. So we didn't even get to the daggone East, and Sean comes on talking about that Boston's taking the chip. I don't know about that either because Boston still got to get past Milwaukee. And who's getting past Milwaukee? Who in the East?
I don't
The
know.
Celtics have the
Hey,
best chance at it, but I really don't think that
that
that's
Greek
the
freak
case.
is that Greek freak is a different dude right now.
And I'm gonna need you to get off of Maxi Kleber. Like
He
ever
did
since,
though. He
stop,
did though. That was
stop.
crazy. But that's
That
just
was
one bad
years
play. That's
ago.
just one bad play. It is
Years
what it is.
ago.
But yeah.
So John said if Middleton is healthy, the Bucks win the chip and Giannis cannot be stopped. I agree. Giannis can't be stopped. But wouldn't that be a thing? Okay, and this is not me sleeping on the Mavericks either, but y'all legit, wouldn't y'all like to see a healthy Suns in the Bucks in the finals? Like, wouldn't that be a great matchup? And I think a better matchup than it would be with Boston. Y'all talking about Boston's making it to the daggone finals. I
Boston.
just don't. I don't know. Like, and I love JT.
Like you talking about Boston.
Boston, right? But I don't know. But I I don't know if Boston has all of the pieces that they need to beat Giannis. And like in the rest
I
of the Bucks,
mean,
and then it
same with
did
us.
they just get Jay
Same with us.
Crowder
Can
from
we
the
guard
Spurs?
Giannis? Can we stop Giannis? Yeah, I'm just saying, like, can we stop Giannis?
My question was, can we make it to the Western Conference Finals? Sean says the Mavericks need another piece of chemistry with no bench. The Suns can't do it. East will take it home. So, okay, the thing about the our bench. Can we get into it? Are we not one of the highest scoring benches in the league right now? Not just in the West, but in the league.
We're
Our
not
bench
we're
is
not
deep.
arguing the fact that we've been able to score. I
Yes,
mean, but
but
there's
you're
just
saying regardless of us scoring, we still can't play defense to win
I
games.
mean,
Is that what
I
you're
don't even just mean to win games, but I'm talking about when you start talking about NBA finals and championships, your defense is going to have to be on a different level. And I agree, Kelvin, nobody can
Hey,
stop him.
Diddy.
If that's what he's talking about, I don't know. But I don't know who can, I don't know. I definitely don't know who in the West can stop Giannis.
Boston is ready. I'm not sure. Yeah, I do agree. Nobody can stop Giannis, the Greek freak.
Oh, this is.
John, where's the disrespect and the violence coming from? I didn't wake up and choose violence. You didn't even have to come on here with that.
Wow,
The man
Sean.
can't stop a
Sean
dummy
said can't
nose.
stop an AAU team. Okay, now that's a
We're
bit
not
much.
watching the same team.
That's
Clearly, I don't even know what the score is right now. Somebody tell me the score of our game against the Pelicans right now. But here's the deal. As far as the NBA goes, at the end of the day, I do think that my Dallas Mavericks are definitely getting past the first round. Whoever said, who is that, John?
we're
So I
losing
don't,
by 15.
huh? What?
We're losing by 15. It's 63-78, third quarter.
It's the third quarter. Y'all know we be coming back in the fourth. That's how Dallas teams work. We come back in the
Apparently.
fourth quarter.
Apparently. Yeah.
We win at the end of the game when it counts. Okay. Hey, wow. It's okay. So y'all think it's gonna come down in the East to Boston and Milwaukee. That's what y'all are settling on, right? Is that what I'm hearing? Because that's what it seems like. But in the West, it don't seem like y'all really know. He said, I see this as a biased show. Even though we are Dallas. This is Dallas. I think some people are haters. Terrell said if AD stays healthy and we play both
Oh,
ends of the court, we can make it. And no, Dallas not getting past the first round. Like where's all this hateration and stuff coming from?
yeah, that was a
Okay,
lot.
that was a lot. Because I'm okay. Here's the deal. AD, let's take it. If AD stays healthy, at the end of the day, the Lakers still don't have LeBron right now, and they still have to get past the play-in tournament.
I'm just honestly, I'm not sold that the Lakers can get it done. Just because AD done had a couple good games, and that's a big if he keeps playing hard, if he decides that he wants to play and he's not crying, if LeBron feels like playing or whatever. There's a lot of ifs. So I'm not sold on them. Now watch them go ahead and win the championship. But I'm just saying, I'm at this point, I'm not sold on the Lakers. I'm not looking
I'm
at
not
them
either.
like
Yeah,
they're
I'm
gonna
with
be
you
the
on
ones
that.
that's gonna
Not
stop
sold
me.
on the daggone Lakers. Never have been, never will be. Chi-town, born and bred, Texas fed.
This girl.
Link. So where I okay, the Knicks have been in the news. We know that.
He's a Knicks fan.
People have been talking about the Knicks and everybody sleeping on the Knicks, but currently, right now, in the East, the Knicks are number 5. And that's after the Cavs, the Sixers. Now, the thing is, what's funny to me is that nobody has said anything about the Philadelphia 76ers. And I think that's hilarious, only in the sense that I feel horrible for I just lost his name. Embiid. Because it's like the Sixers they make it to the playoffs with no problems. And then
I
it's
mean,
like,
nobody said anything about the Kings either.
no,
You
yeah,
know, I mean,
that's
but
true.
the Kings right now, they're second, right?
Yes, they're second. The Kings are
So, I
second.
mean, no one says anything about the Kings. It's like Nuggets, then we skip to
Right.
Memphis, we start talking about the
Mhm.
Suns, and then us. And then on top of that, we ain't really said anything about the Warriors. I mean, they still holding on to that sixth spot. So I mean,
yes, they are, and with Steph Curry just coming back too,
right.
not
So I mean, we
sleeping on the
haven't
Warriors.
really added them into the mix. The Suns look good because we like, they got the king there, KD's back over, whatever, whatever. And we just talking about big names, of course, the Mavs, but you can't ever really sleep on the Warriors. They just somehow find a way to be contenders.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
we literally just like the Kings don't even matter, like y'all
Yeah.
done. We don't, what I'm saying? Like, so same thing. So we'll see how that goes too.
So yeah, people are sleeping on the Kings now. Are you saying the Knicks are too young or the Kings are too young? But I'm not sleeping on the Knicks. I do think what you said about the Warriors is absolutely spot on. I don't think anybody should be sleeping on them. Link, he says, okay, the Clippers. That's another team because now they have Westbrook and Kawhi, and the Clippers got a team, and right now the Clippers they're number 8. They're
Yeah.
above the Lakers. I know that much. We see who's the better team
I
in
don't
LA.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case. We see who's looking like the better team right now. Um
The Sixers get no respect. You right. You right. They don't. Uh so the Sixers will not pass the first round
I
either.
put the Knicks before the Sixers.
Yo, and I promise you, because it seems like it's like the Sixers get to the playoffs and they just don't have the best luck. Not that they don't even. It's not that they play horribly either. They're not a horrible playoff team. They just don't have good luck.
Can't get it done.
Yeah, and they don't get it done. Okay, so Sean was saying that the Kings are a young team. And it said if Steph somehow wins ring number 5, that would have an impact on LeBron standing in the GOAT argument. Ouch.
And the thing that's
Ouch.
crazy with that is, people would say that to a certain degree, but those LeBronians, I don't know that that's going to have an impact on that at all because it's almost like a program thing.
So the thing about that's interesting in his comment is that when the GOAT conversation comes up, you don't hear Steph Curry's name in it
At all.
at all. But if he legit wins 5 rings after a season like this, like you have to, don't you? Don't you
I
have to
mean,
put his
you
name
don't
in the
hear him as
conversation?
far as his game is just so different. To me, I think I don't know. I mean, I like Steph Curry. I like the Warriors. I'm a Mavericks fan, but I really like the Warriors and I like their style of play. Like they
Yes,
play like
yes.
everybody's cool with each other. Like this, my homeboy, he can get it, and they can go, they can go, they can go. Nobody's jealous. Nobody's, they just really want to win. And so I like their style of play. And I think, he comes up in the MVP conversation, but he doesn't come up in the GOAT
No,
conversation at all.
always MVP, but never GOAT. Right.
Yeah, so
And
they talk about MJ,
even
LeBron, and Kobe.
greatest shooter of all time, right? But
Greatest shooter.
even then, he still never comes up in the conversation,
He doesn't.
and that's low key kind of disrespectful to Steph. Because I mean, so Ant makes a good point, like as far as his GOAT status, but I don't think it's going to undermine any of the LeBronians and any of LeBron's GOAT status as far as they're concerned, as far as his points and games played and his career longevity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Lincoln says that the Warriors' issue is that Clay is still not all the way back. But okay, but even then, like we've seen how deep they can get without a healthy Clay.
Yeah.
That part is not really an issue. And says you can't be the GOAT if one of your rivals wins more rings than you during your watch, because that would make Steph better than LeBron. So, boom, I love that he said that, because as a Chicagoan, as a Chicago native, absolutely Michael Jordan, who won on Mike's watch? Who? Who won multiple championships? Who beat the Chicago Bulls in the finals consistently during Michael Jordan's run?
Nobody beat them in the finals. Period.
Nobody. Nobody. So that's indisputable. Period. We know who the real GOAT is.
Yeah, I mean, I do get that. I definitely get that. It'll be interesting to see what the LeBron fans come back with on that.
Dang. So Terrell said that the Clippers are 1-5 since the trade with Westbrook. And
right. And so that's what I was saying. Even though they're ahead of them, I don't know that makes them a better team than the Lakers, because I don't know what Westbrook is going to do. He's just kind of been on a decline. So I don't know if that was, just great for them or not,
Right. It was a good point. So Terrell said Kobe is a real GOAT. Kobe was one that I put him up there too, but
I definitely put Kobe up there too. And I guess my thing is, Kobe paid homage to Mike. Yes. And Kobe called Mike for advice. And Kobe listened to Mike. And Kobe modeled his game after Mike.
Yes, all that.
So, but
all that. So, okay. So real quick, because we do have to get into some football a little bit later, but I still have more basketball, y'all. Can we get into this conversation real quick? Let me read these comments real quick before I even start the conversation. Ed says the Rockets won multiple rings during Jordan's. That's so ghetto that he would even, the only team that, okay. Anyway, that don't even count because that was during when Jordan left to go play baseball. That don't count. A Rockets fan would say that, but we love Hakeem Olajuwon. We put some respect on his name. MJ always passes the eye test. Everybody feared him. Yes, absolutely, they did. What's up, Benji? He said Anna's incorrect. Jordan is terrible against the Celtics. Oh, Benji, please, Benji. That's not a conversation you want to have tonight, okay, bro? Oh gosh, this is so ghetto. Don't come on Dope Sports Chics with that negative energy. 0-6 against Bird. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Sean, because when did it happen?
He wasn't there.
He was not there. Right, exactly. Benji said he's here for it. Okay, let's get into this Ja Morant conversation. Can we please? This is the deal. Last week we had a conversation about Ja Morant. However, this is not the same conversation. Why? Because last week we talked about the 1, 2, 3 infractions that Ja Morant had that were publicized all of a sudden, and some involving guns. Well, after we did Dope Sports Chics last week, I'll be dogged on. I had to text Sadell another daggone article. Sadell, do you see this? Ja Morant in a club after a game holding up a gun. There's so much wrong with that situation, that scenario, and so on and so forth. I know you guys have heard about all of it. Earlier, someone had mentioned that there are no charges against him. Now, this is the deal. Because he had a gun in the club, it had to be investigated by the Colorado Police Department. There are no charges because there was not enough evidence to charge him. However, there's still an NBA investigation. Why? Because in the CBA, there are rules and regulations that state that players, nobody can bring a handgun, a rifle. You cannot have a gun on the facilities. You can't have it on the gun on the planes. You can't have it in the locker room. None of that. And so if the gun that he had in Memphis before they went to Denver, and then went to the facilities in Memphis with this gun. That means in the facility, in the arena, in practicing in the locker room, and then getting on the plane. That then adds additional issues that y'all would have to worry about as far as the NBA. Currently, initially, when this first came out, the Memphis Grizzlies said, we're going to suspend him for 2 days. And that was them getting ahead of it before Adam Silver, the commissioner, comes out and says, we have to go ahead and be a little harder with this punishment, because you guys know back in 2009, 2010, the Wizards' Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenton were both suspended for the rest of the season for bringing a gun into the daggone locker room. And that was back with David Stern. Y'all know David Stern did not play. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but I do believe that additional suspensions will be made, as well as some sort of fine. Ja did make a statement before he deleted his social media. And the statement, he took full responsibility for the situation, apologized to the team, the city, his family, friends, and he vowed to get help, because he's saying he's needing another way to express himself as far as, with the stress. Okay, so now we are here with this young man. Ja is 23, and this is now the fourth incident that we've heard about, and all of these incidences have happened in the past year. So I don't know what has transpired over the last year, but there are some things that have gone in a negative direction for Ja Morant. As a mother and as a fan, I am concerned. I am worried. Initially, like last week when we had the conversation, Sadell, I was like, he's young. He maybe doesn't have the best people around him. So let's give him a pass. But then he's in the club. And it's not like somebody took a video of him with this gun. This was his video, his own video of himself that he posted on his page. So now I'm wondering, like, the irresponsibility, like, is this the point where of no return, or is this the point where he says, okay, I get it now, I shouldn't have done it? Does he really get it? Are we going to see the Ja Morant that we thought that we would get to see to represent the Memphis Grizzlies, one of my favorite players to watch? Yeah. Or is this going to be one of those stories where it's a sad story and we're talking about somebody's could have been potential?
Yeah, I really hate the whole scenario. And I hate, like you said, we were talking about stuff that last week we were talking about stuff that he did this past summer that were just now really coming to light. And, Stephen A. Smith was talking about this, and, sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't. But on this instance, like, he literally said, like, Ja, you have so much potential. Yes. But you are messing this up. And he said, Dad, this is your son. This ain't your homeboy. This is your son. And he said, like, to all the y'all who are hanging around with him, Ja needs to be held accountable. He needs to accept responsibility, which he made the post and said, I'm wrong. I blah, blah, blah. And yes, he had to do that. But he said at the end of the day, y'all are also need to be held accountable for helping him be held. Y'all are seeing and watching him basically dig himself into destruction and allowing it to happen. Now, if he was at the club by himself, but he wasn't at the club by himself, he got his homeboys in his picture doing all that stuff. So y'all are condoning this. somebody should have been like, man, you dumb. You can't be on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, but he said, like, somebody has to help him be accountable. Now, Jai is going to, and I mean, they already extended his suspension from 2 games to 4. And who knows? It may end up being more. It may end up being fines or whatever, like you said.
Maybe indefinite.
But for him to be who he is, and for the police to say, "Yeah, we saw the video, we saw the gun, but we're not going to bring any charges," like, that's a blessing, because that could have been gone a completely wrong. But what they said is, nobody in the club made complaints. They didn't get any calls. No one was threatened with the gun. But I'm willing to bet that you can't have a gun in there. Like, I don't know what club you can go into and have a gun. I don't know that. So the fact that he was able to basically get off with a little slap on his wrist at this point, you know, maybe him deleting his social media is a sign. I hope it's not just a sign of, I'm not going to do it publicly, but I'm still going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right.
I do hope that he has learned his lesson and he is getting help. And honestly, I hope, you know, the Michael Jordans or whoever, those guys, because he needs that. Like, you know, Jai, it wasn't like he was just major rich coming. I mean, and it wasn't like he came from, LeBron knew LeBron was going to be in the NBA when he was in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't Jai's story. So he didn't really know, like, he was playing and not getting recognized, and then all of a sudden, now he's the man. So you go from just being this dude that's out there, and now you're the man. So he does need some help around him.
And a lot of people have reached out to him, though. That's the thing. It's a matter of you taking heed to the advice and taking heed to these older players and people who've been there, done that. Jalen Rose made a fantastic post and said, I am Ja Morant. I did these things before.
Yeah.
But I had to get myself together. And he said,
and he did.
And he did. And he did. But that's somebody who said, I'm going to be mature enough to take heed to this. I know that these people aren't telling me these things to hurt or harm me. They're telling me out of love. They're telling me from a healthy place, not from a place of spite or anything like that. No negativity. But it's sad to see that Ja has both of his parents in his life, and then these are the decisions that you're making. But one of the things to me that I mentioned to somebody is that, so I don't know what their situation was with Ja growing up in South Carolina with his parents. I don't have a clue. I'm not speculating. However, one of the things that I do know is when the dynamics change financially, where the parents are no longer taking care of the kid, but the kid is taking care of the parents, and say that's different when they're our age and you know, your parents are older and we have to take care of our parents. That's different. I'm saying when the kid is as young as Ja is, and they're taking care and supporting the parents, the family, their friends financially, then that changes the dynamics, because now who's paying the bills? Now this is my house.
I don't care, man. I don't care. I will punch you in your stomach. I will whoop. No.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. However, if you make it $200 million a year, are you still gonna? I know how we are as mothers, but the reality is that it's not a whole lot of people where their son is making $200 million and are buying up this, that, and the other and taking care of their families. I really feel like that dynamic shift does cause issues where maybe the parents can't say what they want to say, or
it's not a matter of can't. It's not a matter of can't. They can. Now, are they willing to take a risk in not getting that money from their kid?
Yes. Right.
because it's a sacrifice. But man, I just the sacrifice of his
Oh,
life versus Link. I hope not. Golly, I
yeah,
hope not, because
no.
that's crazy. I hope not.
Because
But
it's the
yeah,
whole
that.
thug mentality. I
So
got to
check this out. There was
go ahead.
a post that was going around, and I don't know if it's real or not, but it was basically saying an anonymous NBA scout said that they saw Ja in high school and they were really impressed with him and just went up to introduce himself. And Ja basically said, I don't talk to no pencil pushers or anything like that. And and raised up his shirt, and he had a gun, but it was like a Lego gun. And he went up and he said, I ain't interested in no pencil pushers, showed that, and then went off and attacked the rim, and it fell out and shattered all over the floor. And then he just looked at it and took off running and never came back into the gym. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just like, if that is true, then he has had a thug mentality for a while.
Yeah. So Ant says at the end of the day, he's in a place mentally where pride and perceived respect rule most of his decisions. And that does seem like the case where okay, I guess Adele will be right back. But yeah, that does absolutely seem like the case that it's pride um and the perceived respect of it. So sorry, Grady says, unfortunately, these young guys have to learn the hard way. He has had many people reach out and talk to him, but his friends are a very strong influence on him. And that's just unfortunate. You're muted.
I'm like, that's not even friendship though, because at the end of the day, you got to think about, if my friends are, a long time ago, they said, okay, I was talking to this pastor, and he was saying, are your friends wings or weights? Like, do they help you go higher, or are they bringing you down? And sometimes you got to cut the weight. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not helping you go higher, then that's not even a good friend at all.
Right. So Matthew is saying he just has to realize that the street cred he's trying to gain isn't worth the chances because he doesn't seem to come from that. That's the thing. I don't know what he comes from,
Right.
but regardless, that is not the direction you need to go in. At the end of the day, the world is at your feet. This young man has a
He's
talent.
great. He's great.
He is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And could very well be the face of the NBA, but not toting guns every daggone where.
Yeah.
No,
and trying to act like a thug.
Right. And you don't have to. You know why? Because you don't have to live in those neighborhoods. You don't have to associate with whatever type of people.
It's not even the neighborhood. You can live in the neighborhood
Elevating.
and still not act like a thug. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, absolutely. But I'm just saying, whatever the excuses are, like those things, you have the means, the resources to not have to worry about those things. And it is unfortunate, the whole situation. I do hope that whatever it is that he needs help with, that he gets it, whether it's him taking some time away from basketball and just learning, growing, definitely maybe some therapy would be really good for him, especially since he mentioned, the stress. And I know the pressure of that could very well be a thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, for sure.
I get that, especially as a young man. I couldn't imagine having that much money and you being not just the face of the Memphis Grizzlies, but potentially the face of an entire NBA organization, like the league as a whole. Like that is a lot of pressure for a young man. So I understand. However, this is where you're at a point where you're about to lose it all.
And the pressure, I mean, honestly, he probably has pressure on being this person and taking care of my family and still being down with my boys and still, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I do get that a lot, but the people that he hangs around, and that's the thing. Like sometimes you can't. And if there's continuing to put you in situations that jeopardize what you're trying to do, then you might just have to move away from that. And
Yes,
you know,
absolutely. I totally agree with that. And what I really do hope and pray is that Ja gets it together now, because right now this is the time where he has to be really cognizant of what the decisions that he's making, and realizing that right now you could go left or you could go right.
right.
And the choice that you make will impact you for the rest of your life. And right now he could still have, so like, he could take all of these experiences and say, guys, I had a bad year. I had a
Right.
bad year. I was stressed out. I had a lot on my plate. I did not know how to handle it. But now I do. I'm coming back. I'm making better decisions. I'm more grounded, et cetera, et cetera. And he could still be a Hall of Fame player, still win championships for Memphis, still do great things in this league. But he has to, like, right now he has to get it together now. And that's like my plea, because at the end of the day, right now, as a fan who loves watching this young man play, this is it for me. Like, if I see another gun, hear about another gun incident with Ja Morant, I will then no longer be a Ja Morant fan. And I can't keep rooting for you when you're trying to lose on your own. And so that's where I stand with it. I don't know how you guys stand with it, but I'm here and I will be supportive and everything. But the gun incidences, this is too much. This is too much. So
Yeah.
I need to see Ja just be great.
Yeah. And I honestly, I just wonder when we will see him again.
That's going to be super interesting to
So
I'm
case
not.
in point, like Matthew, think about people like Ice Cube, right?
Mm, yeah,
Who decided, hey, I grew up in this way, I did all this stuff, but I'm starting this business. I'm gonna, become this, a different person, and he do it for my family. And so, yeah, does he still have street cred because that's who he was? But he
mhm,
doesn't live that life. And
right.
your teammates and family. But I mean,
But
even if
even
you have
then,
your
those
boys,
are
it has to be
people.
the right boys. Case in
Yes,
point, LeBron James still has his boys from when he was in Ohio, when
right,
he was in school. Those
right,
kids went to St. Mary's, St. Vincent with, those are still his boys. But they don't put him in those kind of situations. Those are
right,
the people that he still has around him. It just has to be the right people.
right. I totally agree. I totally agree. Hopefully, you guys, we won't have to have any more of these conversations about John Morant or any of the other Memphis Grizzlies or any of these other athletes, because these are conversations I absolutely hate having. I really, really do, because I like to see our young men elevate. Like, they're yes, they're athletes, they're playing for our entertainment, but they are humans and they go through things just like we do. And I want to be a support for them, but also hold them accountable to the foolery. So, okay, we got 10 more minutes left. And
So there is something that I kind of want to bring up really
okay, go
quick that's off topic from this. So, okay. So South Oak Cliff High School football team just won their second championship back to back, right?
ahead.
So they're getting ready to order their rings. So on their rings, they want to put death row because that's what their defense is called.
Ooh, okay.
And so, right. To me, it's like their Legion of Boom. It's like their Orange Crush. It's like their Steel Curtain. It's like whatever it's
Yes,
called.
yes.
They're called Death Row. Like that's what they're called. And so they're getting a lot of pushback from it to the point that the district is considering not paying for their rings. They actually set up a GoFundMe page, which I need to find it so I can post it. So because
Wow.
and I know like people are taking it from a negative connotation, but their thing is death row. Ain't nobody getting out of here, and they lock them down. And so it's not like they're saying, okay, we're these thugs and we doing all this. This is our squad name. That's what it is. And so there were a few people, and I don't know who or what, but there were a few people who went to the superintendent and complained because they wanted to put that on their ring. And so I just want to get people's feedback and input on what they think. Because I personally, that's what their defense is called. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's just, that's what they go by. And it's been there.
Hearing you talk about it, so my initial reaction is like, I don't know about that. No, not really for it. Then I hear you explain it, and my thing is, I get it. I understand that, but the explanation is too much. You have to explain too much to justify it. And I feel like whenever you have an expansive explanation about something, then maybe it's something that's a little bit too controversial.
My explanation is that's their squad name. That's it. Like it's not, and it would be different is, and I mean you can take it as negative. I do get that, but it's not meant to be as a negative. So my explanation is that, and then I guess the people who went and complained, if they would have maybe talked to them, they would have understood why. It's not like they're changing, the mascot to death row. They're not like they're changing and putting. It's rings that they earn that they're gonna wear. It's not stuff that's going out into the community. It's not technically. It's no worse than Bad Boys. I mean, you can look at that as a negative thing. In fact, my son played on a team called Bad Boys, a bunch of little green kids, but they just wanted to be that, right? So I don't know. So Matthew, what I'm saying is on South Oak Cliff, their defense is called Death Row, and that's what they've been calling themselves probably the past 2 years. I don't know how much longer than that because that's all I've been there, but. So on their rings, they wanted to put Death Row on there because their defense, to be honest, saved them a few times to help them actually get into the championship, right? And so they're getting pushback. The district is saying they may or may not pay for the rings. There's just a lot of stuff going on with it. And so now the team has put together GoFundMe to pay for the rings because they want to have it because that's who they are. It's high school. They have t-shirts made. People have made t-shirts for it, but it's their team and they're the ones who are going to wear the ring, right? So even beyond all that, to me, I don't know why anyone would be offended if they're not even going to have to wear it. Like to me, the t-shirt would be more offensive because they're going to be walking around with a t-shirt more publicly that everybody can see. You're going to have to take the ring off and look at it to see that. That's for them. It's not for everybody else. That's my point with that.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, Matthew, it's high school. So I just wanted to see what everyone's thoughts were about it, but it's actually been kind of controversial and a lot of people have been talking about it and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I understand the district sentiment behind it because the district has to pay for it, so it should be approved by the district.
It's not going to be at the school, and they got rings last year. I still can't tell you what's on the ring.
Okay,
said that the ring, like trophies, the one will end up on display at the school, but
right. But
they don't. The trophies are on display, but they don't display the rings.
If they're gonna pay for it, then go for it. I mean, it's like you said, they're going to be wearing it on their fingers. I actually would. If they're going to put that on something, I would prefer it be on a ring versus a t-shirt personally. But yeah,
I think the thing that happened is in the past, the reason why it's so controversial, in the past, the school district didn't really have any input on what the ring is. Just some people went and complained to the superintendent, and that's how this whole thing came up. It never would have even been brought to light, and no one would have even known what was on the ring other than these people going to complain. So
He said they better sell fish plates to
no,
pay for
I
that.
mean, they're going to put together a GoFundMe, and they'll probably have it in a week, enough to pay for all the rings. I mean,
Right.
they
And
have
that's,
enough support,
yeah.
but so I'm saying it's not like they're not going to be able to get it, but you know.
Okay. Okay. Well, keep us posted. Let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
Real quick, we only have a couple few minutes left. This whole Lamar Jackson situation.
Oh, yeah, dang.
Okay. So real quick, you guys, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him worth $32.4 million. So the Ravens can match the deal, or they can take 2 first-round picks if Jackson signs with another team. So basically, the non-exclusive franchise tag is you can go date other people, see how you
Right.
like it. And with this particular situation, of course, Lamar Jackson is going to be shopping around. However, a lot of teams are not looking for Lamar Jackson. They're not shopping for him. And you would think if he's on the market, an eligible bachelor, then everybody's going to want top pick. But that is not the case. Why is that not the case? You know why? Because Lamar Jackson wants 100% fully guaranteed contract. And what's happening over the course of the league right now with all these different teams and the team owners is that word collusion again that we heard a few years back with the whole Colin Kaepernick situation, where now the NFL owners are supposedly colluding with one another to say, hey, we ain't doing no fully guaranteed contract. Y'all know we ain't doing fully guaranteed contracts. I don't know what you did in Cleveland, but we ain't doing that over here. And so the NFL owners do not want the other players in the league to request fully guaranteed contracts. You know why? Because
Right.
that's a lot.
Exactly. I mean, I can
That's a lot on the
yeah.
organization. And so what's happening now, you would think, like I said, a lot of people would be going after Lamar Jackson. That's not the case, because even the Commanders, y'all know they just got rid of Carson Wentz, and they've had 50 quarterbacks over the last few seasons. But
Yes.
even them, they're saying we're going with Sam Howell. We're not looking for Lamar Jackson. The Dolphins, we know Tua, it's been, with the concussions this season, we don't really know. But they ain't looking at Lamar Jackson either. The Panthers, like, I don't know where Lamar Jackson's going to go for this fully guaranteed contract. But at the same time, like, this is the thing. For one, are the NFL owners sending a message to the players about these guaranteed contracts? I absolutely think that they are. But what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson if his foot is in the sand and saying, nope, I'm drawing the line. This is it. It's fully guaranteed or nothing. I really believe that will be the last we see of Lamar Jackson.
I don't think he can do that. I mean, he can do that where he is now, but
yeah,
if he still wants to play, I don't know that he's going to be able to do that, because just the fact that they made it non-exclusive means, they save a little bit of money on that. Thank you, my Joe.
Thank you.
They save a little money on it, but they're also saying, we like you, but let's date other people, like you said. And so that's already saying that they're like, we're not doing that. And then the fact that people are not really jumping on it, they kind of like, throwing little stones to see if they can get a little feel, but nobody is really jumping on it and reaching.
Right.
So I feel like he may do it where he is just out of pride, but he's not. If he wants to play, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And
No.
the crazy thing is, just like, and which I know you don't want to talk about, but just like the situation that we had with Dak, even though, I didn't feel like Dak was where we needed him to be to pay him that kind of money. I wanted Dak to get his money just because, but at the end of the day, it's not like there's 50 million great quarterbacks sitting around waiting for you to pick and choose from. It's not. And so even though he's had some issues and things like that, I mean, I don't know what the Ravens are thinking, to be honest. I mean, they're like readily willing to let him go.
Yes. Yes.
Clearly.
Yes.
And I don't know what they're going to get in return. So I feel like it's a catch-22 in that scenario, because I don't feel like he's going to get that fully guaranteed thing. I mean, his style of play just itself makes that not
too risky. It's
right.
too risky.
And so,
the greedy owner started this mess by overpaying positions, and it's coming back to hurt everybody.
I agree.
Who is the
next
one
I agree.
Money.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so Sadell, Daniel Jones just signed a 4-year deal for $160 million, and 82 of that is guaranteed. Daniel Jones.
They value him. That's what I'm saying. So the Ravens don't put as much stock in him. However, 80 million is not 100% guaranteed. It's still not, because case in point, let's think about a person that I love that has been a bust this season, Russell Wilson. Think about that contract that he got. They are stuck right now, and he's not 100% guaranteed, but they can't really even do anything with that contract until 2025, and they'll still lose about $40 million on it. The money that he's going to get next year, I mean, they still owe this dude a lot of money. They'll lose $100 million trying to get rid of him this year. And so I don't blame them for not wanting to go 100% guaranteed. I mean, I don't know that that's right. And it's definitely not for a quarterback, running back, but in his style of play, it just does not make sense. So they're already saying, hey, we're willing to part ways and do whatever. So he, to me, is going to have to rethink it, or he's going to end up, because you're not going to get 100% guaranteed. You're not going to get fully guaranteed. You might get a 1 or 2 year contract fully guaranteed, but you're not going to get any kind of long-term contract fully guaranteed.
No.
And would you rather go to another organization or ride with these dudes who've been riding with you? So I don't know.
That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I want to see him play next season. I do. And there's a bunch of teams who need quarterbacks right now, but it's not a bunch of there's no other team that's willing to do a fully guaranteed contract. No. But even there's teams that's willing to restructure with their salary cap, and there's teams that are willing to change their whole offensive scheme. But a fully guaranteed contract, no. And I really hope that Lamar Jackson figures that part out and realizes, you know what, I still want to play. And what the Ravens were initially offering him was somewhere, I want to say between like 140, 160 $1 million contract, but he was saying no, that wasn't enough. But
right, I mean,
Daniel Jones just got 160 million. Come on, Lamar. Like, we want to see you play, but I just hope that he does not just stick his feet so far in the sand where there's no coming back.
He can't, because
I hope not. But if he has the franchise tag, so if he doesn't play,
but I'm saying I hope people around him are not allowing it, because exactly. That's what I was going to say. Nobody is going to fully guarantee it. It's not going to happen. No. You don't want to set that precedent. Just like Link said, they set a precedent paying all this money that they've been doing, but it's honey mustard and nuggets. I like it, but I don't need to eat this 5-piece from Wendy's, but I like
Right.
it.
I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, and they're sold on him. And that's the thing. The Ravens, I feel like Daniel Jones didn't do what Lamar did and say, no, I'm not going to accept that offer. He's like, well, shoot, y'all sold on me. Well, I'm sold on y'all.
Right.
And that's not Lamar. You know what I'm saying? And even with the whole Dak, we knew throughout all of the negotiations with Dak that Dak was our guy. We knew
Right.
they weren't going to shop around.
Right.
But it still took both sides to bend a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't necessarily see, I don't know what's going to happen. I just want to see Lamar Jackson play next season. I won't draft him on any fantasy team. No. The only
and that's the thing, you wonder if he does stay, is it going to be grudgingly? You know, if they do work out something that he's not getting, and I mean, it could be $140 million, but it's not fully guaranteed. So is he going to keep running and playing like Lamar, or is he going to be like, I'm just going to get this money and do whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which leads to question the same thing with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is going to get paid a lot of money regardless of how he performs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate because, you know, it will cause the owners to collude even more going forward because they're trying to get something done. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Come on, Lamar, because we want to see you play, even though I'm not drafting you
at all.
My fantasy teams. Nope, can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. One more thing, real quick. So today is International Women's Day, right?
Yes, it is.
And so the Major League Baseball had a panel that they did, and they had women from various walks and, you know, all this stuff. And it was just kind of cool because they were saying that they wanted to call for equity and not just equality. And they talked about being in the business part of sports and how you have to be fearless and not be afraid and all of that. But they were saying, like, people sometimes say equity and equality are interchangeable, but they're not. You know, everybody may have the same opportunities, but not everyone has the same obstacles.
Right.
And so they're saying that equity realizes that there are hurdles that people have that not everyone does. Case in point, being women. Case in point, being Black, right? Things like that. And even though they may not even know what those hurdles are, because sometimes there's hurdles that you don't necessarily see, but you kind of know that they're just with the women not being paid equally. You know, there's things behind the scenes that cause hurdles. And so they were just, it was just really cool to see this group of women that are not necessarily athletes, but just in the sports industry and being able to dominate but just maximize the fact that they are women and focus on that. And so it was just the one thing that they ended up saying was that I can't remember her name, but one of them basically said, you don't deserve a seat at the table, you earned a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And because you work just as hard as they've worked, that you have a right to be there, not just because it's granted to you, but because you've earned it. And so it's just saying, rock who you are, be confident, and make sure that you believe in yourself as much as you expect other people to believe in you. And because they all did it, they know the next generation can do it too. And it just takes kind of all of us believing. So it was a really cool thing to do. And it was cool to see. And of course, they talked about Serena and, you know, different people who've done things in sports. But yeah. Anyway.
I agree. Link, we rock. Yes, we do. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for that spiel, Sadell. This was a fun conversation with you guys today. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
We appreciate you and we love you. If no one told you they love you this week, just know that we love you and we appreciate you. And we'll see you next week. But check this out. If you're feeling sore and your body's aching, come by cryotherapy. Get you some cryo at Cryo Plus inside Duncanville Fieldhouse. Come check us out.
Okay. Okay.
I
See you
know, threw my
guys
little
next week.
commercial in.
Right. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.